to move to the right.
It's all Greg's fault.
Just go back here where that table's at and stand in front of there, Ken, and let Bill get you on his. Because that's you'll be on Facebook.
Where the road is at.
Maybe on the other side where that table, probably should move that table out.
I got sound now.
All right, we got sound now.
All right, so ProTinker's set up. We got sound on. We got sound on ProTinker's site. We got sound on my page.
There's a lot of echo in here. You got a lot of echo in here.
What?
Here. Let's move this table down here.
I plugged in, so I've got a cord behind me actually to try to
Come right over there. There's some light there, hopefully.
All right, real quick breakdown. I'm sorry to start over.
No problem.
You missed a lot of great info. It was pretty exciting stuff. So we're gonna try to cover it again. So introduce yourself
All right.
again.
My name's Ken Ott. I'm with the Dayton Slot Car Club, and we operate out of Dayton, Ohio. We have a club of about 25 people, but usually we have 12 to, around 12 on an average night. And we run T-Jets, mainly the Frey-style T-Jets, but we also run a 12-volt class. And we started back in 1984, race. Yeah. when relatives would come over, I would race with them, and then I found a hobby shop that was racing cars, and they stopped racing after a year, and then I just continued everything going, and so it's been going for 40 years, and we have 25% leave, 25% come in, lots of variety, lots of fun. We started out with plastic tracks, and now we're running a lot of routed tracks. Everything from Max Track to Bowman and TKO. So we have all the big three, I call them.
And it's in Dayton, and you race. I don't think they heard how many times you raced. It's a lot of racing.
We race April we race through April. We start in September. So September through April, every Wednesday night. And then we also run the hobby shop, which is in Dayton, Ohio. Just south of Dayton. We race there the first Thursday of every month.
It's not your normal racing like we do. We do just kind of your basement racing. You get on a track and you just 10 laps and that's it. Go to the next race. Yours is more specific.
Right. You run each lane. You rotate through the lane. We have qualifying heats and mains, and we keep points and score. We give awards at the end of the year. We have a small fee we charge at each race, and that gives us money for the awards and a banquet at the end of the year.
I think the coolest thing too is the way you do the chassis, so you make it so it's even. Because sometimes you run into where, oh, this person's got this upgrade chassis, this or that, and it's not even competitive anymore. So the way you do it is really cool.
Yeah, this is a series that we just started this year, and it's a Viper 1. So Dan Cronin from Viper, I approached him, and he was all real positive about it. Made us a good price on the bodies, undecorated bodies, and a generic Viper jet chassis. And so our club bought 16 of them, and each team bought in to buy a team, and they could make their team anything they wanted. But mainly, I wanted it to emulate Formula One. So we had a team Mercedes, a team Ferrari, a team Red Bull, a team Haas, and then we actually had a Tide team. And a couple other teams that were just wanted their own generic look and feel. Yeah, and these are the cars. So that's the Red Bull car.
That's the chassis, the Viper chassis, which runs awesome. We were racing it. If you watched the live stream earlier today, you can see us racing different cars. They were different bodies. They were like stock cars, weren't they?
Yeah, and we raced these later. We raced these.
So I missed these ones. I didn't get to race these ones, but I'll be able to probably do it tomorrow or later tonight even. So that's the Red Bull team. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, you can just pull them all up there if you want. So you can see McLaren, BWT. There's the Mercedes in the back. There's a Haas. And it was a lot of fun. And so basically the way it would be is we had 16 as evenly matched chassis as we could, and at the beginning of the night your team would draw 2 chassis, and then you could, whichever driver. It's 8-lap qualifier. You run for your best lap in 8 laps, and then after that you were seated for a main, which was 4 minutes in each lane, and our points scored exactly like Formula One. We kept team points and individual driver points. And so my thought with this series is that any club could do this and work with Viper, and he would be willing to work with any club and give you a club price on the cars and the bodies and have at it and have fun.
So do the bodies come this way, or were these?
The bodies come plain.
Plain,
They're
okay.
plain white, and you paint them up the way you want them. I have a vinyl cutter, and I like to play with it and challenge myself to how small of decals I can actually cut on it, because I've been told there's no way you could ever do it, and there you have it.
I say those
you
look
can
pretty
identify
good.
them.
Yeah, those are pretty good looking chassis. Any questions from the live streamers? Anybody in the audience questions? Nope.
Down there, and even though he has it localized, you hear about it all over the country. So even though he's down there, there's a lot of people that are interested in what they're doing down there.
Yeah, so with that said, if you go to Dayton Slot Car Club on Facebook, I'm trying to get as many members as I can. I think we're up to 300 maybe. And like Brad said, people all over the country follow us, and we interact back and forth.
And we're gonna share it. We'll put a tag in the comment section after the video, so if you rewatch it, you'll be able to find it there. And then also on our fan club page, we'll share it too, because I think it was fun racing. I had a good time. Racing you.
Beat me once, I beat you once.
I fell apart there at the end. I got nervous with the. Once you put the championship, I'm going to talk to my team and see what we can do to improve that. So next time I come back, I'll be the champion, obviously. So, but that was really cool. Thank you so much for bringing your track too. That was
All right, that's Lloyd
yeah, Lloyd.
and Bad El Hobby that all contributed to that, and their group helped put that track and those races on today too.
Those are some good guys too.
Yes.
They love coming and bothering me at the shop. So.
Bad Al, where are you from? Are you gonna have Bad Al come up later?
Yeah, they're gonna,
All right.
Yeah, who's next? Anybody?
MEB.
Maybe.
Yeah, Mike
Get over,
Vidal.
get over here. Who are you?
I am Mike Vitale.
Uh-oh, Mike Vatelli. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Michael Edward Vitale.
Edward Vitelli.
MEV Originals. You're fine. Together. I make resin casting, resin plastic, and slot cars. 2 varieties. One's
These are
come in a
awesome.
case, and then one's kind of can race, cheaper. Both do come in a kit version. I've been doing it since 1995, so pre-internet. So I figured out about the internet right back then.
Well, how are you making resin bodies then?
So well,
The process has changed, right?
well, there's other options today. There's a lot of quick resin varieties. There's also those resin baths for printing. But to get an actual final product that actually has a sheen and kind of play or paint, you really got to do a resin rubber.
Okay, resin and rubber molds, and that's
Yeah,
what.
so this is an example one of them here.
And what's your shout out? Your website?
Yeah, so tjets.com,
I've seen that. before.
tjets.com, or mevoriginals.com gets you there too. So I don't know if you can do it justice in there or not. But I'll do different varieties of stuff. I'll go way off the beaten path.
And this goes on a T-jet, so
yeah,
you
so
can
it's-
see the screws right there. And this is like heavy duty. This is good quality. You can tell. This can probably wreck and not
Yes.
break.
Yes. Yeah, like for instance, like this one here, you can't decapitate this guy.
Do you have one on it?
I don't have one on the chassis. Actually, can I borrow one? So this is as extensive as they get.
They told me to put this in my pocket. They want me to take this for
I
a
see.
pack.
Alright, so this is a two-tone 1959 Fairlane. You can see how the chassis mounts on there. It basically looks like a could have made it.
The best part is it
Scale
sits
similar.
really well on the chassis. It looks.
It's designed to nothing sticking out if you use the original TJ chassis. Is the idea. It's like Aurora kept going, and they put these additional models to add to it.
Can you put an auto roll chassis on this?
Yes, anything that's originally that implements that looks like a T-Jet chassis. K4s and TFXs now, early dash ones fit. Great. So you got a lot of options.
And it looks better in person too. It's got a really good shine to it. And do you paint them all too? Or how
Yeah, so that's also a piece of the whole factory thing I got going on is is a stencil. I'll do a vacuum form image of the car and then I'll clip out the pieces that I need painted and then I'll just spray it. And it's designed where it snaps on and off, so I can quickly do. So for this one here, to do the roof, there's a thing that clicks on here, and this part's cut out. So the spray, next one, spray, clicking it in. So they got efficiencies over the years in order to make them.
Because you can knock these out pretty quick, then.
Yeah,
This
so
feels heavy too. This is.
Yeah, the hardest part is to get the first one done and into like a factory mode. So it's about 90 days to get one created from scratch, and then I'm able to
90 days.
90 days to get the first one done,
Okay.
and then the mold masters and everything made. But then making a car, it's probably about 2-3 minutes worth of effort scattered out throughout the mold. I pour it in the mold, so it's like maybe 2 minutes there. There's a minute decasting, 30 seconds flashing, spraying. So maybe like 4 minutes to actually producing a final car through the assembly process. But there is a long cure time for this mold. This resin stuff. It's about 8 hour cure time.
Okay.
So-
Everybody's saying they want these on our website. So we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, so reselling them, is I've had bulk sales and people do resell them. They come up on eBay often.
This is a Triumph.
So that one's it's here.
Okay, good. You are correct, Shift.
Yeah, it's TR4. Yeah, the other
New
one
mold.
this was a 64 440, the one we were showing before.
That's a
station wagon.
That one's sharp. I like
So
that
this one here, it's molded as a station wagon. You can see the post is not actually going all the way to the roof. It actually allows, so when you look through it, you don't see that post like Atlas into their station wagon. So I try to do stuff. It's hard to do this in the metal mold. Resin mold, rubber molds give you the ability to bend. It's only like 2-piece rubber molds.
So they asked, what new ones do you have that are you working on? That's one of.
Right. Oh yeah, it's always a big question. So the newest one I got coming out here to the example of is.
Because it takes 90 days, you said?
Again, 90 days to, it doesn't exist
Yeah.
to one that is now in the casting factory process. Meaning, I have to home make these bumpers, right? So this is a 56 Imperial, this one's new.
That's awesome. This looks beautiful too.
So it's got kind of
That one there.
50s images of the time period with the fins and the raised
Look
lights
at
in the
those.
back.
Those bumpers are
It's a
beautiful.
4-door, which normally people cast 4-doors, but Imperial's kind of 4 makes sense. So it's one of the new ones I'm coming out with. And I'm actually going backwards to do a 1944 coming up next. I've got a 61 Oldsmobile in the works. It's just getting the time to make the new ones and keeping up
And keep
the
production
production of the other
old
stuff.
ones.
Is
That's the hard
where
part.
it's all a little game. I've got to make it all unfold properly.
That's a neat one.
Run about 3 to 6 weeks probably turnaround time. I do have kits. I didn't bring the kits here to the show. It's a cheaper option for you to paint it yourself. It's only $15. You flash and
Oh, that's a good.
do the chrome plating. You pick the color you want. That's gonna be white in that case. So, it's I mean, it started back in '95 when it was on the internet. So it's like, how do you do
Yeah, how
that?
did you
So
do
some
it?
guy wrote a book on casting dollhouse furniture. That's how it started.
Oh
I
my
purchased that book for whatever it was, $35. But his method was just so unrepeatable. Like you'd make a piece of furniture and the mold would wear out after 3 molds, and then you'd have to go back to the clay process and produce the mold again. It'd take longer to produce the mold and to actually get 3 cars. It's just not efficient. So I just added so much more efficiency to it. But I learned the concepts through that book, and that was the big piece of it. So now I've got it down pretty good. So it's a long cure process is the way it works. So it's a 20-minute pot life and it's 8 hours to mold. And that gives you the ability to de-air it after you mix up. All these resins are always 2 pieces, piece A, or liquid A, liquid B, you mix it up. When you mix it up, you get all this air in it.
Yeah.
So you gotta get the air out. So there's many ways of getting the air out. You can pressure cast it. You can basically kind of heat the surface of the open cast mold and try to get the air rising surface. Or you can de-air it through a vacuum chamber before it goes into the mold. That's the option. So I got like 3 or 4 minutes into that, and 15-minute hot life, and it's gravity fed from there. So I got 15 minutes for it to go down this big long tunnel and then back up. the venting system.
Any trucks or tow trucks? You worked on any of that
right.
stuff?
So I do taxi, I do an ambulance. I do not do tow truck, I do station wagons, I do pickup trucks.
Thanks, Ted, for sharing that. So they just shared
One
that.
example is a pickup truck.
Oh,
So
that's a sweet
let's
one.
go real down the weird, right, not the most popular one, but it's got the art of the time period, which I like. It's got the step side, which is tough to do in a TJ because you're limited to your, how the TJ's gonna inevitably go under there. So I don't want to cheat too much. You want to keep it to scale, but sometimes you do have to change the car up a little to get chassis.
That is awesome. Those are some good quality stuff too. Definitely check that. Click that website.
TJS.com.
So
20
Mike,
cars, about 100 cars in this series, sorry, and then 30 in the GT series.
so Mike, tell them about your experience at the 2000 World Show. How you had your book,
Right,
and you didn't think anybody would come to the room.
Right.
And we couldn't get anybody else in the room because there was 60, 70 people
Right.
trying to look.
So early on, I did casting for the cars, but to make the initial cars, I actually took pieces of other cars and kind of crafted them together with a process called goop. Basically, I melt down plastic using the solvents, and I can fix cars that way. You can actually make the goop into the color, and then you fix wheel wells. But also, you can cut doors and other panels and actually create cars from other pieces from other cars. So I did that demonstration as to fix cars and how I made new cars. It's one of the ways I come up with the actual original molds of these. These are not taken from die-cast cars. Often they're actually hand-carved. Some parts may actually be shrunken down for large cars. Stuff I just can't do with that scale. But a lot of the cars are actually hand-carved. So that show showed all that. I presented that, and I had a larger model that kind of show it in a different way. It's supposed to be very tiny, so you don't see it in a 1/24th model. But you actually fix stuff and make new models using that same technique. So I wrote a book, explained how it happened in the book and how.
It's no joke either. That's like an art form then. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
actually made
legit.
the first
You're
one.
carving-
Right, so there's two arts to it. Making the first one to make it fit on a cheetah chassis to make it not look cartoonish.
Yeah.
Right, and then the second piece is actually being able to make another one, with the quality. It's a lot involved.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying you did a lot for the hobby and they appreciate that.
Good,
So,
good,
yeah,
yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, art form, sweet. Mike's book.
Yes, that's the book we
On
talked about.
EBB.
Yeah. So that came out in '93, reprinted '97, something like that. It was an $18 book, 2,000 copies each go around, so 4,000 copies. I think they go on eBay for like $100 now if they do resurface. I might consider writing another book, taking pieces of that other book, and then adding resin casting portions that was not in there at the time.
So we got a new book coming.
No.
Gotta put the
Not
pressure on.
coming in thoughts if I ever get ahead of this, or talk my kids into doing more for me.
Nah.
That'd be nice. This is
luck
not
with
full
that.
time, and it's basically just me. So there's, about 2 hours a day and 8 hours per weekend.
Wow. That is a lot of time. When you got a full-time job.
My
in
full time
addition
that's
to-
right. I'm data architect in the United States, which also requires efficiencies and methodologies. And, system development life cycle. So it's all kind of makes some sense. I'm able to kind of roll something. With doing this stuff. So.
That is
Yeah.
really cool. All right, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, Mikey. Very informative book, must have for TJet collectors. Awesome. Any other questions? Anybody else? Anybody else on the live? I think we hit all of them.
Got one question.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you have any that people like to race better than others? Is there like a favorite?
Yeah, there's certain cars that I guess it's a combination. So it's a car that 62 Pontiac, the 70 Coronet, the Mini, the Porsche 914. Those have been good sellers from get-go, and they just have not subsided. So yeah, certain ones are definitely. I think it's more about how the car looks in the chassis and a little bit how it performs. I don't know how many people race the more expensive ones, but when it comes to the other, the GT series, it is ones that you can only drop the chassis up as high as you can get it, or the body as low as you can get it. Those do sell better. So yeah, minis, the TR4, TR6 sell really good. Yeah.
Oh, they're just asking about the book.
Yeah, the book pops up every once in a while.
You
Somebody,
can't just come out with the book again, or what?
I'm considering that as an option too, because there's new digital printing options. I don't necessarily own the rights to it recently, so I have to go track down the publisher. There's kind of issues there, I think. So so maybe writing a new book makes sense. It's just that time.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
Where I gotta figure it all through. But yeah, now producing the book probably way easier than it was back then. So there's a lot of bonuses there moving forward once it's written. So, but it's way down the list. I got like 17 cars lined up right, then maybe book. So.
Well, awesome. Thanks for sharing. That was pretty cool. We'll share the links. Ted put it in there, and then we'll get more and put that up as well. So, thank you.
Good deal, sure. All right, thanks for having me.
That's awesome stuff. Those are good. Check it out. Peace. They're saying thanks for sharing. Oh, what goes into his discussion to retire a body? Oh, they do have one more question. What makes you decide to retire a body?
Ooh,
Retire
good
some?
question.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah. All right, so there's usually several factors. One, sometimes there's casting issues with the body, and I can't quite get it to cast reasonably well each time. I have to baby it more than others. Certain cars just aren't that popular. Certain ones just don't fit into the spectrum of what I'm doing. I may be running a bunch of 59s and no 67s. I try to mix stuff around a little more. Issues with head and bodies. Yeah, and just some cars just, I don't know, I just grow tired of them. So there's several factors. There's no way I think you guys can figure it out. So you're just gonna have to wait for the next one to disappear, and I guess if you purchased it, it's in your favor.
You got lucky.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a good one.
Good
Those
deal.
are,
All right.
61 Olds, the bubble top car. Please
Yeah,
ask
that's
if the 61 Olds is in the bubble top.
It will be bubble top, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the two-door bubble top, yeah.
And are they all on there, the ones you showed? Because one guy was saying he couldn't find one on the site.
Right, so yeah, the ones that all shown today are definitely on there. 56 and Pro is on there. There should be a latest section. You click on that and it shows the three latest, which is the 66,
Yep.
yes, Chevy. We got the 56 Imperial and there's a 64 Mercury. They're running now, but yeah. The next up are going to be the 40 Ford, 61 Oldsmobile, and probably do a 53 Plymouth, Dodge, something like that, as another police car. So,
Yeah, we got a police car.
yeah, no police car here. So, yeah, I've done taxis, I've done ambulances, I've done a hearse. I want to make sure it's as obscure as possible, so yeah. And I try to stay away from the Camaros and the Mustangs, because more than likely somebody else will do them at a lower cost in China, and that they can help me out. So, yeah, and then also another reason to discount or discontinue the cars, if somebody else has done one similar, like the 64 Corvette or Polara, that's been done, so I dropped that. So certain ones, yeah, that's another reason. If somebody else mass produces them, I just give up. I had a 69 Buick. Going well do that, so yeah. Well,
How about-
tougher, huh?
They want to tuck
Yeah,
in.
that's a possibility. Yeah. I want to try to do all the orphan cars. So I do an Ash, I do a Hudson. I'm gonna probably do that would be definitely an orphan car. Would be a Tucker. Kaiser, I'll try to get a Kaiser in there. Studebaker. Yeah.
You're going to get a whole bunch of recommendations.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that never
That's gonna be
ends.
fun.
Yeah, that just keeps that's fun. Yeah. So and sometimes I can steal pieces from one car and recycle some parts. Like I can take a glass, the dome of certain cars, like 20 different domes from the 50s with different roof lines, but they're similar enough in HO scale that I can kind of just about use the same as glass. And I'll just mold the car slightly different, or I'll just fit it right in there. And that's one less piece I have to manufacture for the next car, right? So, but you couldn't really necessarily tell that. Bumpers usually don't get recycled because they're obviously pretty unique to the car. But yeah, the glass and the roof lines often do come up similar, especially when you go from like a Chrysler to an Imperial. Well, it's the same. They did the same thing. They cheated. So like, 64 Comet is also on the list to do as well. But the Falcon, I don't know if you know, Falcon and Comets are basically the DNA is the same. So I'm going to steal parts from my own Falcon, just like Ford did, and make Comet. Yeah. I think I can cut the 90 days down instead of what I'm shooting for.
Yeah,
Get the next
exactly.
new car out.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mike. That was pretty cool. I don't see any other questions, so
Very good then.
thank you very much. That's cool. That's some hard work too. Gosh.
All right, thanks.
All All right, who do we got? Uh-oh. We got
Here it
trouble,
comes.
guys. We got trouble.
Thanks, Mike.
We got the alley rats. We got the drag strip racing.
Alley Rats Racing going on there.
You guys all know Al, obviously, he comments quite a bit, gives Brian a hard time.
Skillet.
Skillet?
Hello, everybody.
Al Pink here. Good to see y'all. We are drag racing aficionados in 1/64 scale. We like to see people of all experiences try to enjoy what we enjoy. So you could buy a starter Auto World drag strip and get your feet wet. Just racing stock cars. Some of the cars you already have at home, you race on your roundy rounds. There's a lot of things you could do. You could just make a strip at home out of the track you got and just race. We do some professional stuff. We like to do mail-in racing, where people from literally all over the world will mail me their cars, and we have classes, rules for the classes, and I run all the cars in a standard drag race format. We got some chintzy little awards. Sometimes we got some real nice awards.
Sometimes we got good prizes.
Sometimes we get great prizes. We get sponsorships from other racers and other race hosts.
Good bunch of guys to race with.
And some people will reach out to the various businesses out there, like Auto World, and get some stuff donated from these businesses. I think Jag Hobbies has helped out, Bad L Hobbies has helped out with different races.
I've had Wizard and Slot Tech sponsor a race.
That's correct, we did, yes. So, I used to do a lot of live racing because I had a lot of people in my area that would come and spend all day Saturday racing. And we would race like 6 classes, and everybody would want to stick around for a little while to do some challenge racing after all the official racing was over. That kind of petered out, and I got more interested in this mail-in racing stuff now. So just a tag here, nitroslots.com. Okay, also on Facebook, we want you to check out Alley Rats.
Ain't no drag racing.
That's us with what we're trying to promote. And everything from local, you get a bunch of guys in your garage, a couple beers, you get some kids together on a Saturday.
Not Bob,
We're trying to promote what is a incredible control. Go all the way up to professional level, like Sam and I do, where we have professional tracks that are manufactured. We use a professional timing system, which costs a little bit of money, but it replicates real racing right down to the ETs, RTs, mile an hour, different increments on the track, 660s, 330s, 60 foot. We can do everything they can do in NHRA. And we're serious, but we want everybody to try this out so that what we experienced at one time in our life and maybe get the bug. If you're worried about sitting in your car, like an Auto World car, real good, respectful.
Takes you one car to get through a race, and then you'll know what it's all about.
So, if you got questions, we're going to keep it short and sweet because I think we covered the we're willing to answer any questions you got and give any advice, and I'll throw out there that I am Al Pink at gmail.com. I got a question in the Peanut Gallery.
Tell them you'll be there tomorrow. If people
Yes, I will be at the show tomorrow. Sam and I will both be here with my drag strip. As I said, has all the increments. You can come and see what your car does, how fast it is, mile an hour, ET. See how good you can react to injury. If you can cut low light reaction times. Yeah, we're here. We have loaner cars, so you don't even have to bring. Do some drag racing with us. We've been having fun with it all day today.
And we were racing it earlier today, so just do a live stream, that real long one. You can see the whole track, you see me racing it, Zach was racing it, everybody was. It was cool to measure the reaction time to the zoom like that. Skill is getting that timing down right when it turns green, you gotta go.
And we cut some whites.
Yeah, I got down to like 0.73, I think.
Down there. So, I mean, if Ryan can do it, come on.
Anybody can do that.
Yeah. Monotone, man. Monotone, man. Yeah.
Your AirPods keep connecting to this.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, thanks. Because you having trouble? All right, any other questions? Definitely we'll share all that info, obviously. It's a lot of fun. And we'll be doing more racing tomorrow on it. So tomorrow's going to be pretty packed. So.
And come and check out the action. Don't be afraid to check out the mail-in racing. It's all fun.
Any questions from anybody? Awesome. Anybody else on here? Drag racing is a great and simple way for younger kids to get involved with the hobby, correct? And then they like that. Nice setup, they said. They really like the setup.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We try to present something that people will enjoy. And we want to thank the Bennett brothers for hosting us, having us here.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to cut out.
Awesome.
Turn our game for Bad Al.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Comes the troublemakers.
These guys, man. They're some of my favorites, though. That's the only reason I give them such a hard time. All right, go ahead and introduce you guys yourself. You got the poster. You got Ken.
Loy Elliott.
Loy Elliott. He's the one who built that awesome track that I was crushing him until I got nervous.
It is up for sale. We built the track for for this show. And we got some real good comments on it. The track turned out fairly well. Had zero problems with it, except for when we went to move it. A couple little things happened, but we got it fixed. But once we got it out, everything was fine. We have racing at Van L's on Tuesdays and Fridays. We run Thunderjets, and that's the Ultra G. Those are fairly stock cars. The only thing we do is put slip-on silicone tires on the back. We put a weighted car on it, and pretty much everything else is stock, and they really go well. Van Al's carries a fantastic selection of these cars, and we try to support that. So it's it's really a good fit for a lot of people. We've had 19, 18, 17 people in the last few weeks, so it's really picked up. The big comment that we get is there's a lot of people that they say they've never heard of Bad L's before, and here's one of their cards. Give you the address, a phone number, all the information you need to maybe kind of check the store out. Bob sells a lot of stuff online. Friday nights we run a life light with a level 4 magnet in it, slip-on tires, and we are allowed to change the front ends on those. We try to keep everything that we race very reasonable. We don't have any expensive cars. The controls we run are provided by the store, but they're very good controllers. And then the other Friday night class is the SRT. We are allowed to change the rear tires, and that is about it for this car. We change the bodies every other month, so we're running 55, 56, and 57 Chevrolets for last month and for this month. We'll change it, run something else. We just like to keep things mixed up a little bit, and we like to run things that are in people's boxes. And you can paint them up, you can do a lot of different things to them, but we've had some real good racers come, and we just have a great group. Bob really does support the racing at the shop. We have a 16-foot by with a 4-foot kick out just like the track we was running today, except for the one today was 12 foot with a 4-foot kick out. But it's about 62 feet of track, and you know, real easy to, you know, to figure out what we're doing. Everybody there is a big help. So, you know, if you have any questions, if you have any problems, there's always somebody there to take care of you. So we'd like to have, you know, everybody who's interested to come by, at least check it out. If you just want to try to get interested in it, what we can do is loan you a car, and that'll give you an idea of what it is. If you're not interested, no biggie. But we've had a lot of guys come in that, you know, they really grabbed onto it and done well with it.
It was, a lot of people asked too, what screws did you use? Did you any special screw? Because they're all screwed in, all those tracks are.
Correct. I used a number 4 with a Phillips head, and anything from probably a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch. I bought all the screws that I used in that track at Ace Hardware there in Brunswick, and you know, I was able to get most of the materials from Home Depot, but you know, we try to do it right.
Yeah.
And we go through the track at Bed-El about every 6 months, and we do all the rails and all the slots, and we try to make sure that that track is 110% anytime anybody there is on it.
Because they were flying and they did not fly off the track. They're very well protected. They get caught pretty good.
Yeah, we put nice 4-inch barriers up, and I tell you what, we couldn't have done this without all the help from the Bad-El guys. Just so much support. You know, it just tells you what type of camaraderie we have there. And we, you know, want to thank Ken for all his help. He did a fantastic job on providing the level or the 12-volt cars, and then he put some real nice decals and different things on the track, and really made it look so much better.
That's pretty cool. Definitely check it out. We'll share the links. Any other final questions?
And you guys will be set up again tomorrow too.
Yeah, you'll be
We'll
racing
be
tomorrow,
here
right?
tomorrow, yeah.
In the same area with us, yep. So we'll be back there having fun, and we'll have the live stream going, so definitely check that out. Hit the thumbs up. I noticed some people aren't hitting that. And anything final?
Just want to thank you guys for, you know, for being here and putting on a good show, and for Brad and Greg that has been doing this for so many years. You know, gives a lot of people, you know, a place to go for, you know, twice a year, and just enjoy the show and the, you know, the people that are here.
It's been a good time.
Yeah,
We've been having a blast.
Yeah.
One of our hometown boys won the race.
You're right. Well, the Bad-El guys won actually both races we had today. So, but he didn't get any practice. He was, you know, he was on the same level as everybody else on a brand new track.
Yeah, it's a good track. I like to hope I'll get some more racing laps in. So
Yeah.
that was awesome. Thanks for coming by. Anybody else who's up? They know you? Come and say hi, Bill. Come on. You've been auctioning like crazy today, haven't you?
Yeah, occasionally. I know a few guys know my face. Anyways, it's been a great show. Greg and Brad, thank you. I know you guys have been doing this for, well, I was still in high school, so we'll just leave it at that. It's been a long time. Anyways,
It's the longest one, right?
you know, appreciate everybody for
Longest running one, right?
Yes, good run. I appreciate everybody and their support through the years. Always got a lot of good stuff available. And we do have, in a few minutes, I think we're going to be maybe half hour or less. I'll get back to some auctions and you know, we'll get some cars moving out and getting to everybody. But when it's all said and done, you know what? It's all about the hobby. And I don't think you can put an emphasis enough on what Brad and Greg have done through the years. It can sometimes be a selfless thing that they're doing, in the fact that, I mean, they don't get a lot of gratitude and maybe don't get told thank you enough for what they've done for the hobby. And just anybody else who's putting on races, Mike, the guys, you know, we got Bad-El Hobbies and some of the other groups, anybody that's here that has helped us support the show. They have done a really good job at supporting the hobby. It's all about support, and it's all about what we can do to keep this going. Anybody that can support youth, get the young guys going, and get the younger crowd in. Let's face it, we're getting older, and our cars are going to end up in dumpsters if we're not careful. So, you know, when it's all said and done, if we want to get them passed on to the younger generations, that is pretty important. I think a lot of us are realizing that. So
just the tinkering. I mean, kids don't even know how to tinker sometimes, and just that basic.
Exactly. And
Tell them about your high school.
Yeah.
Tell them about the high school.
And you know, Austin graduated high school last year. His senior year, I donated 3 or 4 tracks, and they brought him into science class, whether it was chemistry, physics, whichever it was. And the teacher actually let these kids set up slot car tracks on the chemistry tables. And the kids had a blast, but they were learning about electric motors. And the electric motor part of that, that's a DC motor. So, you know, that's a really cool thing to be able to teach somebody a basic and simple, you know, magnetic motor. I mean, that's just a cool thing. So, with the brushes and everything. You know, I mean, I don't really have anything more to add. I wish that I was still racing with Loy and a few other guys like that. But, you know, when I had 2 sets of twins, I had to back away. Time constraints. Yeah. You wonder why I got gray hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, when it's all said and done, it's a great hobby. This is a good time. And thanks everybody for watching live. Also, you know, anybody that's coming to the show tomorrow, stop by, say hi. There's a great group of guys that are there, whether it be in the small room with racing's going to be with ProTinker and Bad L Hobbies, and Jag Hobbies I think is also going to be here if I'm not mistaken, right? And you know, we got Al and the drag strip with those guys coming up. And I'm horrible with names, so you know, if I'm mentioning, I'm not meaning to forget anybody when that's said and done. So, you know, everybody, thanks. It's been a good show. It will be a good show. And if you guys keep putting on the show that we've got, and hopefully it'll be for a long time. So.
Anything else? We do have, they did say thank you for your auctions. They're really good. And then Robert's saying hi, and they agree with everything. So that's good.
Thanks,
Did
guys.
you guys? Greg?
Let's get Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
up here.
He's gonna get ready.
Come on. You want to come up too, and
Greg,
you can ask them how it all started.
bro,
Oh, you can go ahead.
Come on.
I'll come up after.
All right.
You interview.
All right. So the longest slot car show. That's a big deal, you know. It's been going on a long time.
so we started in 1983. We started going out to western Ohio, meeting with different groups. We met with people in Akron. We'd go different places. People would come to us. One of the first ones we went to, and I remember, was it Steve Keaton? We went there and we had never seen a GTO. And he brought this GTO out, and I go, who made that? And it's a Roy. And I go, no, that's the last time I said they didn't make that.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many times after that there's something I found, and there's something that they did make a lot of stuff. So I don't know if we were fighting over it, but then we were promised that somebody else had one, so we stopped fighting because we had to travel home together. But so from that time on, in 1986, we decided, let's just have everybody come to one location. So we did the Brushwood Shelter down here in the Metro Parks. And we had it down there for several years, 4 or 5 years. And the ranger would come in, and to see what we were doing. I says, well, we trade. And he came in one time and he saw somebody paying for something, and he said, guys, you can't do that. And they'd have to go to the restroom to make like this. It was slot cards, but it's like making a drug deal. Okay, you wanted this, and here, it's this much. And then they'd come back out and they'd trade them. And you couldn't do that. And finally, because it was cheap to go there. Then I came up here and we've been doing them here ever since. One time we went out to Aurora. I wanted the mystique of going out to on Aurora Road out there. We went out there one time, but man, it was so much work, hauling tables, getting everything together. But other than that, it's been here since, I'd say 89. So, and we've had it here all those years, twice a year, every year except we had to cancel the COVID, the one show during COVID. I think we only canceled one, right?
Oh, just one.
I thought it was three.
Two? Yeah, maybe
It
two.
was March, the following March, and I think it might have resumed the following fall.
Yeah, so there might have been two, but I just know that, and everybody says how, and Greg does so much stuff trying to promote the show, and always has, and always helped me haul in all my stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever seen. What I have now is nothing compared to what I had years ago. We'd be hauling stuff in for a couple hours and then setting up. But he has always helped, and now he promotes the show big time. You say that we've had, it's because of us that we have the show, but like the one guy said, Ken, about the members that he has. Everyone who's come to the show is a member of the Model Motoring Car Club. So if you've come to the show, you've supported the show, and you are the show. It's not us. It's the people that come to the show to help support it. And that's why when I put on the flyer and stuff, help promote and put it out there so people know about it. Because the worst thing in the world for me is the week afterwards, some guy said, "Is your show this weekend?" And I go, "Well, actually, it was last weekend. It was a great show too." That's the worst thing that I ever want to hear. But never can think of his real name. Brian puts it on the local TV, which is something else because everybody will go, "Yeah, is that you? That's?" I go, "Yeah." He puts that on there. It's a great thing to help promote the show. So I love that. I love telling people, "Yeah, I have a commercial on TV." One of these days, maybe I'll get over it and we can duke it out a little bit during the, because he is off the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta get you in the next commercial. That'd be good. You guys gotta calm down.
I don't know if you have any comment, but it's our show. It's not Greg and I's show. It's everyone's show. What the point I want to make.
It's a big show. I mean, we packed that to the brim, and I think tomorrow it's going to be packed into the hallway again. So it's going to be slammed. It's definitely grown in just a couple years that I've been coming. The first time we were inside, and then we got moved on the outside, and now we have a whole nother room. So.
Well, I'm actually having all these years coming and setting up and doing all this stuff and all the little things here and there. A lot of times I didn't have fun. Now I'm having fun at the show.
That's the point.
And you beat me today, and then
That was
me being called out of the crowd. "Hey, we need one more racer." And I got to come back in and
And it beat me. He wants to say, I'm sure. You got to get that second
it
time.
didn't feel good. I was second a lot today, no first. So,
That's awesome.
But I just want to thank people for coming.
Yep.
We have a gentleman here from Toronto, Canada. Okay, we have people flying in from California tomorrow. We have people from North Carolina, Georgia. I mean, this is getting bigger and bigger. And you tell people and they, oh, it's too far to drive. And then you show them all them show posters we made for all you guys. And then they come back and go, you got all this? And I said, yeah. And I sent them a picture of Wannacott's Indy cars. And then they're all going, are these for real? And I said, yeah, they were at the show last show. And you never know what's going to show up here. So that's what makes it
tell
fun.
them about Bauer.
Oh, we contacted Bauer. I saw the pictures of the new Charger on Facebook the one day. I don't know how I found them, but I found them. And Bauer's coming out with the muscle car line. And then you're going to have a new chassis. They printed a book. They went through a restructuring because he's our age and he went down and I think he picked somebody up in their late 40s, early 50s to go in with him, and then they picked up another guy to make the chassis. So he received a call after I sent all the stuff, and they're thinking about coming to the show in the spring.
Next spring.
Yeah, so, and hopefully they're here, and hopefully it just keeps growing.
And they already got the dates for that, so start sharing it, spreading, because it's going to be even bigger. I mean, really, this one is, I think, even the slower one. It's once we start going into winter where it even blows up more.
Yeah, in the fall you always have guys. I had several guys telling me that there's one guy that does church stuff. He has a lot of activities right now, but in the fall he's color.
So just thanks everyone for coming, and we'll keep trying.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody saying thanks. Yeah, the date is, we'll share the date, but the date is already set. It's October 22nd, I want to say, that weekend. These are some of the things that Greg, he makes all of these posters.
So Tinker from Wayne, Ohio, come and see me. And like, when have you been at a loss for words?
And then this stranger, you don't know who this guy is?
Well, I'm Brian Young. I've been in the retail or the manufacturing business really for the last 1997 is when I got a job for Irwin Toy in Canada. And I traveled the country, visited about 2,000 hobby stores back in 97 back then, and then we switched to SCX. And then, so I've been doing trade shows since really 96. And I was kind of semi-retired in 19 because I was just doing trade shows for Magnum Enterprises that were making rubber band guns. And then in 19, Ryan said, hey, can I create a website? And I said, I don't care, but I can't pay you anything until you outdo my eBay sales. And then when COVID hit, I had just finished like 3 trade shows in 2020. I just finished Atlanta, a gift show in Vegas, and then I did True Value in New Orleans, and then I did New York Toy Fair in February 28th of 2020, and then I got home and boom, everything shut down. And so all of a sudden the website just took off. And well, about 3 months before that, in 19, Auto World back in 19, because I'm always at trade shows, so I was always talking to Craig at Auto World. And I was always telling him, hey, I've got a lot of ideas, and SCX never took my ideas. And Auto World, I credit Craig at Auto World for listening to my ideas. And they listened to a lot of things I say. So if a lot of things you guys want them to do, they have my ear, okay? And Craig, for example, you were talking about a 4-lane set. I said they need a 4-lane set, and I told him, I said, you need a 4-lane set. This was in 2020. And they came out with a 4-lane set, and he said they sold out. It was a shock to them, okay? And you know, everything that we do, and I tell them, hey, you should do this, they end up doing it. And it's really to you guys. You know, I like doing this just because I remember doing it in 1971. I was Thunderjets. Okay, that was it. You know, and then I got into Irwin Toy, and it just hasn't left. Okay. You know, am I an expert on every single car? I always tell my kids. David will ask me. He said, and I'll say, David, I don't know a lot about anything, but I know a lot about everything. Okay. And that's really what it is. You know, I always tell my customers, and I've had like 3 or 4 retail stores. I've always told people about my retail stores, I never let my customers feel that I know more than they do. When you do that, your sales can just kiss them goodbye. You always want to make sure your customers know more than you do. Just to give you an example real quick. So I had a comic book store, and I could be that comic geek and just and tell them all about but they would come into me and I'd say, hey, what I got this about this new comic book character. And I'd let them fill me with their excitement about their characters. And I would just listen. I wasn't talking, and they would buy more comics books than I could possibly give. And that's what I like to do. I just want people to be excited. And when we do these exclusives, it's a joy when I see people come in and buy a car and they just are totally excited. And doing this, you know, this show, this extra, you know, so we did the first show inside there, okay, and it was packed. I said, well, Ryan, we need more space. And then we went in the hallway, and it was even crazier. I said, the one thing about trade shows is I've been doing it for 20 years, 30 years. The first 2 days are the great days. The last day, everybody's leaving. And I said, well, you know, we come here on Sunday, and by 1 o'clock, everybody's gone. Let's get some more, let's get it really built up on Saturday, you know, so that our Sundays are even huger. And I'm just really excited about how many people showed up today. It's just really, you know, I'm very just kind of taken back. It's just off. You got this guy here from Stefan from Toronto. I mean, this is just awesome. I got your name right? Steven, Stefan, it's the same. You know, and that's awesome. And we get guys coming from California, and we get this to be a nice 3-day show. You know, come in on a Friday and have even more on Friday, and then Saturday is just packed out. And then we have a great Sunday, close out on a Sunday. It's more excitement for more people to come. We got people that came from Cleveland. I think, aren't you from Michigan? Yeah, that's what I thought. I forgot your name, so forgive me. So that's the way. Anyway, that's what I have to say. I just think everybody is betting from this, and I told somebody recently that so Ryan is 45 or 35. I'm sorry, 35. So he's the last generation. If you ever think about this, he's the last generation that experienced slot cars in the department stores chains, because in 1999. Tyco sold completely out to
Mattel.
Yeah, they sold completely out. Well, 96 is when they sold to Mattel, but they quit selling sets. So 1999, he was about what? In 1999, you were about 12 years old, 10 years old. Okay, so his age group now is the group that we really need to start hitting at, the 35-year-olds. And I'm seeing more and more. They're seeing the commercials and saying, "Hey, I want to do that." I remember this vague remember of doing slot cars with my dad, I think. And we're getting those people coming in now. They're 35 to 40. And that's our next target audience that we want to hit at. Anyway, I could talk for 2 hours, but I cannot talk anymore. I'm done screaming and yelling. It was so fun racing today. That is so fun. I'm telling you, that was so fun doing that. And everybody was so happy and joyful. Anyway.
Tell them where your shop's at.
Oh yeah, all right, so yeah, most of these people know it is. It's in Wayne, Ohio. You know, it's basically 800 people in Wayne, Ohio. It's like south of Bowling Green or east of Bowling Green, a little town called Wayne. We bought the local Huntington Bank there and just turned it into a store. And you know, we got slot cars, toys, and everything else, and, you know, we like to carry other products too, you know, Viper, and we, you know, we just wanna get the market to be bigger and bigger, and it's really exciting.
Tell them how Greg brought Brad to your shop. Oh wait, you forgot.
Yes, he did forget. Yeah, because he drove that big, you know, whatever van, and he shows up, but he didn't bring his brother. He didn't bring his brother.
Yeah,
What?
but Brad's been doing this show for, I can't even tell you how long. It's always been incredible. We've had people from other countries here before. So, you know, a lot of this isn't new to us except the Saturday racing.
Right,
But the
exactly.
show has always been off the chart and brings some of the
Oh, no.
nice collectors and people that are out there in the slot.
No, I totally agree, and I don't want to make anything. I just think that the extra day, and I mean, this was just amazing today, and tomorrow's going to be even it's going to be bizarre tomorrow.
Now, we had the World Show back in the year 2000. Guys clamored to have me keep doing it, but they didn't understand how much work
No, I
it is and
bet.
how much the extra days cost so much more.
No, it does. No, I totally understand. I really do. I do. But I appreciate you inviting me, Craig, and allowing me to do this with you and help you and all that. It's very humbling. So thank you so much. Does
All right,
anybody
any
have
other questions? Otherwise, we'll shut this off. We just hit an hour.
Here now. Oh my gosh.
And he wants to go to sleep, 8:30.
No, I want to have
And thanks everybody for coming. Obviously Brad and Greg. I swear it sounds like the same thing. But we'll see you guys later, all right? Make sure to hit that thumbs up, share. That was a good one. You learned a lot. You guys have a good day.
Brian with what?
Brian.